Hello, and welcome to Psych 101 online for the spring semester 2021. Best year ever, right? I am Professor Henderson. I get to be your guide this semester. Right now, what you see on the screen is my Panapto recording over our Blackboard course site. So I'm going to minimize my Panapto recording so you can see our course site. This is what you see. I have student preview mode on, which allows me to show you how you see the course. If you saw how I saw the course, it would freak you out. But I just want to point out a few things to help you get oriented and get started this week. Along this left side, you see our navigation bar. Our course automatically sends you to the announcements page. You'll notice that on the top of the announcements page, I always have the time. I don't know where you're at, right? This is an online course, so you could be anywhere. You're not beholden to Boise time or being on campus. So remember, right, that all assessments are due following Boise time. Yes, this only covers the swath of East Coast to Pacific Coast time. So if you're outside of the U.S. Or outside of these time zones, make sure and know the differences for yourself. I've posted a welcome message. This welcome message was also sent to your email. So if you're not seeing this message in your email, you either registered late for the course or you don't have your email settings set up correctly in your my.boisestate.edu. So if you didn't see this in your email and you've been registered in the course, double check your my.boisestate.edu preferences and make sure that you have your school email selected as your preferences. I had a few suggestions. I'd sent this out on Friday. I'd had a few suggestions for things to help you get started and how to approach the course. First thing I want to show you is our syllabus and schedule. Here is a Google Doc version of our syllabus, and then we have our schedule, and here are some essay resources which will be relevant as you move through the semester. Looking at our syllabus, you all have a Google Docs account. As a student at Boise State, you have access to that. You can locate that through your email by the little 6 boxes up on the right-hand corner. You want to click on the Drive button, or you can click on the Docs button. I want to point out, just right now, I'm not going to walk you through the syllabus, but across the top you see this highlighted yellow bit. So this syllabus is the most accurate copy for this course. Blackboard representation is static and has not been updated. I have not posted the static version to Blackboard because we're not into the second week of classes. Once we get into the second week of classes, any changes that I make will be highlighted in yellow. Be sure to review the syllabus. It is so important. It's our contract for engagement. Of course, there's this big blurb here about COVID. We want to make sure that everybody stays safe, especially those of you interacting in general population. Working on the syllabus every semester, so it's been updated continuously. One of the things that I haven't exactly set up yet, and I was kind of waiting for some teaching assistants to give me some feedback, is this suggested course process. I like to have that because some students don't know the best way to space their learning out, and this can be really, really helpful. So I'll be working on that, but for the most part, everything is really ready to go. So be sure to check that out when you get into our class. The next thing that I need you to check out, of course, is our schedule. Our schedule is very simple. I just show you when each unit is active and when each unit closes. And when that unit closes, you need to have all of your submissions done and completed by 11:59 p.m. that night. Now, we do have a little bit of grace in this class, which means that if you miss that due time, you can still submit your work, but it'll only be for 50%. Okay? Very important that you remember that. Because this is an online class, I encourage you to work at your own pace, and that's why I have the active units when we make the units active, so you know when you can start working ahead. But this is where we get our work done, through our course content link. Currently, you see orientation. After I post this video and email it to you, I'm going to open up Unit 1. Through Unit Orientation, you have information. The first thing we hear is our questions about the syllabus or the schedule. I will be answering those. It's best if you post them in the discussion board versus emailing them, because chances are if you have that question, somebody else does. In every unit, we have this outcome and materials, right? And we tell you what you need, what you should be working on, and what we hope for you to build as you work through this unit. We have this marked as reviewed. This is one of the ways that you can keep track of where you're at in the class for yourself. We have part 1 and part 2 for several reasons, but for simplicity's sake, we just have part 1 and part 2. I wanted to, at least in this first orientation unit, there are a few things that are required, and this is for you to demonstrate your commitment to the course and to ensure that you get to stay in the class. So anything with an asterisk in part 1 or part 2, you have to complete in order to stay into this course, and you have until Friday to do that. We have a pre-read, which means before you get into the textbook, I ask you to answer a few questions. This is where you get to show us what you think you already know. And then ideally, the science is going to teach you some stuff, and we're going to ask you to reflect on that throughout the units. You have a student survey. This is about your resources, who you are, where you are, what you're managing right now in your life, especially given these unique and quirky circumstances that we're all in. It's nice to know where you're at and what you have and what you don't have. And it also lets me know a little bit more clearly how I can help. We have this section on exploring. This is, your opportunity to sort of choose your own adventure. That's what CYOA also means. But here you get to do some exploration on your own. I ask that you do at least one of these. You get to check out my Rate My Professor information, which is horribly unvalidated, and I have many statistical and scientific reasons for why that's the case, but it's still a snapshot of how people see me, and I think understanding that is important to you making a good decision about being in this course. Here's a PDF file with feedback from last fall's students. Yeah, I post my evals. Why? Because you need to know. You need to know what it feels like to be in this course, and your peers are the best people to provide that information for you. You can also follow me on Instagram because I'm not out and about in the world very much nowadays. I don't post that much, but sometimes I post quirky, fun things. Sometimes I post random pop-up hours. I don't know, kind of easy to look at. If you don't want to follow me, you don't need to follow me. We have this formative assessment. Now you'll see that we have formative assessments and summative assessments in this class. Formative assessments are those assessments that kind of get you practicing, get you doing things. Summative assessments are where we ask you to show us what you know. Okay, so those are graded a little bit more critically than the formative assessments. This is a choose your own adventure. You are going to complete what we call an active reading guide of the syllabus, where you're going to answer specific questions about the syllabus. And then we have the syllabus contract. This is what ensures that you and I are starting off on the same page and that you understand the commitments and opportunities in this course. And rare, first time this semester, is a required one-on-one meeting with me. All you have to do in order to set that up is click on this link, and it will take you to a scheduling page. All you have to do is click on any one of these 10-minute sessions that we have available. I am incredibly available for the first 2 weeks, and then after those first 2 weeks, I just go down to my standard office hours. I want to meet with you, one, because this is a really rare and quirky and difficult time, emotionally, socially, academically, and research makes it pretty clear that if I meet with you and you show up for me, you're more likely to show up for this class, and that is priority 1 for me. The next thing you're going to see in our folder is part 2. It's another choose your own adventure. I'm not sure what, it's in the folder. That's a folder. These indicate information. And then you'll notice this one right here, this one that's got the little blue box with the folded down shaded blue tab is just information. These are submissions, right? And so when you read through this, you can choose option A, B, or C. In order to submit an assessment, you click on that link, view the rubric. Always look at the rubrics. This shows you how we are going to be grading your work. We have attempted and we have done. Okay, attempted means you did it, but you didn't answer all the questions, or maybe you submitted it late, right? This is part of that grace period, or maybe something else happened in your attempt to submit. Very important, a lot of people just type into this comment section. That's not where you want to submit. You want to copy and paste into the right submission box, or, which is this box right here, and make sure this is one of the upgrades to Blackboard, which I'm not entirely sure is a great upgrade, but it doesn't automatically spell check. So make sure and spell check for yourself because spelling does matter. Or you can upload a file. Very importantly, Blackboard only can read doc, docx, or PDF. So make sure that you submit one of those if you choose to upload an assessment. So that is our first unit, okay? And this one closes, if you refer to our calendar, this one closes on the 17th. Okay, so you want to make sure and get that work done. And I always have these expand your learnings, like learning about class, learning about Boise State, learning about all of these resources, new student information. There's my Instagram information there as well. This is just for those of you who want a little bit more. All right, so I hope that this was a relatively painless introduction to our course. So pop into the class and you should be seeing Unit 1 available when you come in, if you haven't already popped in. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you take good care of yourself and your loved ones. And please, please, please don't hesitate to ask if you need anything ever. Take care.